What's up, everybody? This is your boy Heel Carmichael, and welcome to another installment of Heel Thought. And the topic I'm going to talk about is the WWE Netflix Unreal Season 3. It just came out this Tuesday, and they show 5 episodes, just like the other two seasons. And I understand that you got other fans who enjoyed it, then you got the other fans who dislike it, and of course you got pro wrestlers who's in the industry that's pretty much hated. And I understand because they try to protect the kayfabe, try to protect the business, try to keep the identity of pro wrestling. Even though the kayfabe had been exposed since the '80s, and pretty much I don't want to say exposed, I would say educated. They educated us about pro wrestling since the '80s, and the first time I seen the kayfabe been educated, it was two different documentary. Well, one's a special and one's a documentary. Um, on TLC, they had a show called "The Secret of Professional Wrestling," and they show behind the scenes how they choreograph the wrestling moves. And then on History Channel, there was a history of pro wrestling. Of course, on MTV, they have 2 parts of I Want to Be a Pro Wrestler on MTV. Well, back then MTV was MTV back in the day. But for this one, WWE Unreal, it takes to a deeper core of how they made their show, the world of sports entertainment, and not pro wrestling company. But overall, I finished watching Unreal season 3. I binge watch it, and I would say this season 3 felt different than the first 2 seasons. And there's a big, huge difference between season 1 and season 2, because if you notice, they follow different seasons. Like the first season, they follow from, I believe, from WrestleMania to SummerSlam, and then the next season they follow from SummerSlam through close to WrestleMania at the time. And for this one, they covering pretty much the John Cena retirement, in which I thought that was a big focal point of the season, and then the following certain wrestlers, and it's leading up towards WrestleMania of this year. And each time I watched WWE, I thought, what they gonna put in Unreal? Because not only am I watching WWE, but I'm thinking like, okay, what kind of stuff they could put out for the for the next season of the WWE Unreal. So I took some notes down before I made this video, and a lot of things has popped into my head when I thought about it. There's like at least 3 things they showcase on Unreal. The first thing I definitely want to talk about is the creative process. That's the main focus of not only for the season but the whole entire series is the focus, the whole focusing on the creative side. The number one thing that people have pointed out, which I've seen on social media, is Braun Breaker originally supposed to win this year the Warrior Rumble. And me seeing Braun Breaker, I figured he would be the top guy before the whole Vision thing, because he had a great run with the Intercontinental Championship, successful run at NXT, being a former NXT Tag Team Champion with Baron Corbin, being a former NXT Champion. Hell, came from the NXT 2.0 era, in which is one of the most underrated era in NXT history, but I digress. But Braun Breaker, we step foot in a main roster, capturing the Intercontinental Championship, most of the people felt that he is ready to be the main eventer. The moment he dropped the IC title to Jey Uso, everybody thought that he would be the guy to be a main event. He'd be the guy to become the world champion. Everybody know it. I know it. All the purists, everybody else knows it. But that's not the case, because Triple H and the rest of the writers' creative team think otherwise. And their reason for not putting Braun Breaker over or make him winning the Royal Rumble is they worry that we the WWE will shove Braun Breaker down their throat. Boy, they are more wrong than ever because we already embrace Braun Breaker and we welcome him into our arms in the most natural way. I can compare Braun Breaker path to main event star or even a world title picture. I can compare him to Batista, and Batista is a great example. Back then he was a heel, but the way that WWE let us naturally embrace him without forcing them down our throat is let him be comfortable, let the character grow, and we will enjoy it in our own way. Just like Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker is a dope wrestler. He cuts some, promos of which I don't care about. But his style of wrestling gives him old school Steiner wrestling. That's something you see in the 90s with Scott Steiner or Rick Steiner or pretty much the Steiner brothers. That's something you see and you love. Smash mouth, old school powerhouse wrestling. The Braun Breaker, he got it. But WWE, they hesitate to give him that push because they're worried that they'll shut down throat. Now, the last time a wrestler shoved down throat was Roman Reigns and John Cena. When Roman Reigns shoved down throat, it felt unnatural. It felt, no pun intended, unreal. It felt forced, and people don't like being force fed. We rather have them come to us naturally, and so we could relate to them. So that's the number one thing in that creative process of why Braun Breaker did win the Royal Rumble, in which that was a stupid move by WWE, including Triple H and the creative team. And it got me thinking like either the creative team made that decision or that was a TKO decision. And that's another part that I will dive into that one later on. Another part of the creative process, injuries. We've seen Liv Morgan get injured. We've seen Seth Rollins get injured and Braun Breaker. Injuries happens, and we see that on the TV screen. But we didn't know how much they affect the writing process and the ideas. And we've seen that happening in three different occasions. They had to pivot. And the biggest pivot they had to do is Seth Rollins because he was a world heavyweight champion and they have so much plans for him. But the moment he hurt his shoulder, I think tore his muscle on his shoulder, Triple H and the whole entire crew, they had to damn near change the idea. They had to change the plan because I'm willing to bet the plan was have Seth Rollins go to WrestleMania either with Roman Reigns or CM Punk, but we never know until somebody from the writer team explained it. So that was very interesting, and I kind of understand, but at the same time, it's like if someone got hurt, they should have the backup plan. That's just me being a writer. And third is NXT. Now, the two people who got brought up is Obafemi and Trick Williams. Bruce Pritchard, this guy said we should be patient and they're not ready for the main event spot or the main roster. When I heard that, it got me thinking like how many people, how many NXT talent who got, laid to waste or got their push been snatched away because they're not sure of the NXT wrestler. They're not sure of they could be the right guy for that push. Because it got me thinking of Javon Evans. Because right now, Obafemi and Trick Williams, they are successful. Like the 2 out of 3, the big three is successful. Like the two guys, Obafemi and Trick Williams, they're doing a great things, but Javon Evans is being left in the wind and being tossed to the side, taking L's, but he put up a banger matches. Even from Triple A, NXT, and even main roster, he put up won a hell of a match, but he always walked away with the L instead of the dub. So that's number one thing. That's another thing that really standing out for the creative process, and it's kind of like a big red flag on that part. Another side of Unreal season three that I picked up is it's a lot. Is very emotional. They are very emotional, and the only two people that stands out from the emotional side of the whole season three is John Cena and CM Punk. John Cena is more of him leaving the business and how much impact that he had on not only the world of pro wrestling but the fans, because how much John Cena meant to the business, and we see that. And my favorite part of that scene was episode two when CM Punk come out as a Punkonomics, and John Cena he was impressed of CM Punk giving some promos and dropping some bars, and in that moment, CM Punk told John Cena that he missed him and he loved him off mic, and you could see that John Cena felt really he was touched, and he was emotionally appreciated when he heard that from CM Punk, because them two been working together for many years, almost like plus decades, you know, at the time. So that was really touching. Another part, CM Punk, and this part touched me, and I understand where CM Punk is coming from, because the way AJ Lee explaining to us that CM Punk always wear uh, his heart on the sleeves, and you can read him with his emotion. And the moment CM Punk talked about Larry, Larry the dog who passed away, I ain't gonna lie, I was mostly touched because it reminded me of last year, last March, when my house dog of the family pet of our Romeo passed away last March, and I felt what CM Punk felt, and I totally understand where you're coming from, and that really touched me on the human side. I know other people don't care about CM Punk, but that's on them. But for me, being a CM Punk fan and from day one, understanding where you're coming from, I really felt that, and I was tearing up as myself because like I know how I felt to lose something that's close to you, either as an animal or family member, because the animal is part of the family. So I totally understand that. So that part really touched me. Um, there's some things that have been missing in season three, or they haven't touched on. There was no mention. I won't say there's no mention of Brock Lesnar. What I mean is they mentioned Brock Lesnar, but for the matches between Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, but they never talked about Brock Lesnar or he even be on Unreal, because after Obafemi match, I thought they gonna show the retirement scene between with Brock Lesnar after the match was over, but they never mentioned that part. In which that was a head scratcher because like I thought they gonna show Brock Lesnar retire, see part of him crying, and see how the backstage react, but they did not show none of it, like none whatsoever. So that was a head scratcher. Um, I'm surprised that none of the members of the TKO pop up. Um, the reason I say that, or even I brought that up, because I believe last year TKO just pretty much flat out saying that they do some part of the control creative decision, so they get the last words. The only time that TKO ever mentioned it was season one, and explaining to us the process how the process goes with the storyline from the creative team to TKO. That's how they explained to it. That's the only time they even talked about it. Who else? I'm surprised Naomi didn't shows up as much. Mm, there's a plenty of people, but Naomi, I would love to see more of Rhea Ripley. Uh, I would definitely love to see more of Dominic. I would love to see Dominic to show up, be part of the Unreal. But the way it looked, they show like different people. Also, I'm surprised they didn't talk to Finn Balor. I was surprised they didn't talk about that. Also, they did not talk to AJ Styles because AJ Styles retired that year as well. Well, year after because Cena retired December, AJ Styles retired in January, and I'm surprised they did not touch on that part. So they missed out a lot of topics, a lot of segment on that season three. I'm not sure they're gonna bring it up for season four, but the way it looked, I think after WrestleMania, I think Road to SummerSlam will begin. So they're gonna take it from there. My favorite part about the whole entire season three of Unreal is Stephanie Vaquer and John Cena retirement. Um, Stephanie Vaquer, excuse me, with her journey from Chile to WWE was a good journey for her because she suffered a nose injury or face injury. She had to work as a waitress. She had to do what she got to do to make it to WWE. And what's so great about it is you can really enjoy her. And the most amazing part about it is there was a finishing for Resapalooza, and they want her to finish off with the Devil Kiss, but Stephanie she rejected. She wanted to do her own move. It was kind of like her version of the Spinal Tap. And Petey Williams, I feel like he's one of the unsung heroes of the X Division. That's my opinion. Petey Williams, he sees it and he say like, well, if you can't do that move, just do the Spinal Tap, because he want to keep the finisher for her, but her safety, she want to give her the Spinal Tap just in case. And she won the title, and it was a great scene on that season three. Also the Cena retirement. Once John Cena explained it, he breaks it down and so many Easter egg of the whole retirement. I understand and I get it. And John Cena, he want to give back to the business. I mean, give back his love to the business. And the way he goes out, people embrace it. Gunther, Triple H, and everybody else, they embrace it. And the way he go out, that's his choice. So the retirement was beautiful, but Triple H, he thought, it was great, even though the fans say it was terrible, which I get that on real time, but with Triple H, when he tried to explain it, still, it could have been a lot better. But that's a two favorite part I like about the Unreal season three. My final thoughts of the whole entire series. Um, I enjoyed it. For the past three seasons, I enjoyed it. Um, I become very educated, and I hope the fans who watch it become educated. And I wish they would show it to young kids so they became educated as well. Because I don't want them kids walking around saying wrestling is real. Because if you say that, the kids will bully you. So I advise y'all to watch Unreal with the kids. So yeah, so that's my final thoughts. Well, I hope you guys enjoy my topics. I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you love it, like the video, share, subscribe. If you want to support this channel, that's my Cash App link. Send some coins so I can make this channel better. I'm your boy Heel. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.